G'day guys, I'm Boomer. Tonight we're doing a late night barbecue cook. We're going to just prep some pork ribs, they're baby backs. We're going to go through the process of trimming them, seasoning them, and then how we like to cook them. I like to cook them at about 275 Fahrenheit minimum, or 130, 140 Celsius, and I can find most times baby back ribs only take about 3 hours. There's no need to be cooking them for the 3-2-1 method or anything like that. 6 hours, way too long for our pork ribs. We can nail these out in about 3 hours. So firstly, I like to start on the back side of the ribs. We're going to remove all the dangly little bits of meat here. We're going to tidy up either edge. We're going to remove the membrane if need be. This one's already had it done, while this rack hasn't had it removed. And then we're going to start on the top side after that. So firstly, we're going to get rid of that. We're going to remove that little excess bit up against the backbone there. Then what I like to do is just run the knife along the edge of the bones here. Now, there's not always a heap of meat to remove. Sometimes there is, but I like to just see where the bones actually end. And then when I'm trimming the other side, it's far easier to tell where they are. So I'll spin that around. Now this one does have quite a bit of meat here, but I don't want that hanging on there. I want this to be a nice and tidy looking rib. So we're just going to run the knife down there. Run that through. And like I said, this one's already had the membrane removed, so we're good to go. So we flip that back over. And we're just going to tidy up the top. Oh, this one's actually pretty good. So, just get rid of those little ends that I left there. A little bit of fat here. And we're going to start on this leaner side. So we're just going to roll the meat down a little bit, fillet a little bit of that off, or trim. Alright, pretty happy with that one. That's the first one done. That's just ready for seasoning now. Yep. We've trimmed them, now we're going to season them. This is where you can use a binder if you'd like, such as mustard. I personally don't use binders. I find that the meat itself has enough grip to it, but there's nothing wrong with using a binder. So do that if you'd like, just a thin coating. We're just going to go straight up with the rub. Sheared and seared, this is my pork rub. Lots of savouriness, a little bit of heat, very little sweetness. Pork's sweet enough, I find. And then if you want to add a sauce, butter, honey, all that sort of stuff with your wrap or glaze, you can do that then. So we're just going to apply this to the back and then the top. Pat it in. Flip it over. You'll always lose a little, not too much though, perfect. Now the top. Same thing, press the rub in. And that's it. Not much wastage there at all on the board. Perfect. These ribs are now ready for the barbecue. Like I said earlier, I like to cook at about 275 Fahrenheit minimum, or about 130 Celsius. We'll cook them for about an hour or so until I'm happy with the colour. Once I'm happy with the colour and the rub is actually set, we're going to wrap them. They'll probably go in for about another hour, and all up 2.5 hours, 3 hours, we'll be done. Right, so it's been about another hour. We'll just check the internal temps and what the actual ribs feel like. Grab this one out. All right. Yep, a little bit of bone shrinkage. We sort of want it to be somewhere around 195 Fahrenheit or 90 Celsius between the bones. So it's just, that's pretty tender they'll be. If anything, a little bit high, but I feel like by the actual feel of them, they're pretty damn good. I'm just gonna flip these over. Look at that colour. Nice and soft. Right, I'm going to take these off, give them a glaze, back in for 5 minutes, set the sauce, and dig into them. So that's just my swine and dine, butter and a little bit of honey. Look at the colour. That is good. So the ribs are looking great. They're pretty much ready to eat now, but we're going to apply a bit of a glaze. So I've got my Boomtang sauce. We're just going to do a light little coating, back in the pit for say 5 minutes to set the sauce, and then we're right to eat them. Might just need to give this a little bit of a brush. Where's my little brush? Oh. So 5-10 minutes in the smoker, the sauce is all nicely set. 2 hours 45 roughly. Ribs are done, nice and tender. We're just going to slice into them and see what they taste like. Let's dig in. A perfect bite off the bone. The rest of the meat's still staying on. Just that slight little tug and the meat pulls off. These are really good, really good.